Welcome to Switch Recaps. Spoilers ahead, so relax and enjoy. The movie begins with highway patrols and local officials declaring a state of emergency in Louisiana due to the storm called Hurricane Gustavo. In the next scene, a bus is transporting 5 prisoners: Big Jim, convicted for drug trafficking and distribution; Jocks, convicted for armed robbery and vandalism; Floyd, convicted for murder and hate crimes; Angelo, convicted for murder; and Russell Cody, convicted for killing a cop. Here we see a gang getting ready to intercept the bus transporting the prisoners so they can rescue their buddy, Russell Cody. At the police station, Deputy Whitlock informs Sheriff Newman that he received a distress call that the bus transporting the 5 prisoners would be heading their way because it got caught in the storm and needed a place to hunker down until it's safe. The gang trailing the prisoners is a little surprised that the bus has changed location, but they continue trailing it anyway. Back at the sheriff's department, Sheriff Newman tells Deputy Pine to stack some sandbags in the alley near the back door to prevent more water from entering the building, as the place is already flooded. Deputy Pine goes to the storage room to get some sandbags, but unknown to him, the storage room is flooded with a litter of bloodthirsty alligators. As Deputy Pine stretches his hand to pick up his fallen flashlight, he is devoured by the bloodthirsty alligators. Upon arriving at the sheriff's department, the prisoners are rounded up and placed in their cells. The gang is unsure of how many officers are present at the station and is reluctant to raid the place and free Cody, but they do it anyway. During the confrontation between the police and the gang members, one of the officers transporting the prisoners is killed, and Omar, one of the gang members, is injured. Sheriff Newman realizes they are overpowered and surrenders her weapon, instructing the other officers to do the same. She takes the gang members to where Cody is imprisoned and releases him. Rafe, the gang leader, asks Sheriff Newman for the surveillance footage so they can erase the evidence, but the sheriff tells them the cameras are broken because rats ate the wires. Rafe, in disbelief, asks Carter to accompany the sheriff to the storage room to verify if the cameras are indeed cut and the wires broken. Omar, alone and bleeding, gets devoured by an alligator that catches the scent of blood and traces it to him. After Carter verifies that the wires are cut, they decide to head back when the sheriff sees Deputy Pine's flashlight and decides to retrieve it, with Carter following. She pulls the flashlight out of the water, along with a piece of Deputy Pine's arm, which frightens her. Just then, 2 alligators enter the flooded area where Carter and the sheriff are. Carter shoots at them, but to no avail. As one of the alligators devours Carter, Sheriff Newman manages to escape and shut the door of the storage room before the second alligator can get to her. Rafe, hearing the gunshots, asks one of the gang members to watch the prisoners, including the officers, while he goes to check what is going on. He sees the head of Omar, as that is the only part of his body that the alligators did not devour. Still processing what had happened, he moves closer to the storage room and hears Sheriff Newman panting near the door beside him. Rafe asks the sheriff about Carter, and she replies, "Dead." Rafe asks if it was the alligators that caused Carter's death, and the sheriff, surprised, asks how he knew. He makes gestures signaling that there were 2 alligators making their way to the room where the sheriff was. The sheriff sees the alligators, and both Rafe and the sheriff run upstairs, but the gators follow. The sheriff manages to get upstairs first where the prisoners are, but as soon as Rafe gets there, the gators catch up with him and take him away to devour him. Cody shuts the door, but it won't hold for long as the gators are desperately trying to get in. The remaining prisoners are freed from their cells so that together, they can devise a means to survive. Sheriff Newman suggests they climb up using a rope through an air vent to get upstairs. They all manage to get upstairs except Floyd, who is betrayed by Jocks and used as bait for the gators that recently broke through the door, and he is devoured alive as he screams. As the water from the storm gets into the building with no way for the waters to go out, it soon fills the department building and takes the alligators to the top floor where the others are. On the top floor, Jocks goes with the sheriff and Cody to check for any weapons they can use to fight back and also look for an escape route. Just then, they see an alligator approaching them, they shoot and kill it, but Jocks doesn't survive the altercation as the gator eats part of his body during the shootout. Hearing the gunshots, a fight breaks out between the others, and Angelo shoots Big Jim and also kills the officers before the gators devour him alive. The roof crashes and pierces the last gang member, and Big Jim uses himself as bait to distract the alligator so that Cody and the sheriff can escape. The alligator devours Big Jim and starts charging towards the sheriff and Cody, but Rafe comes out from nowhere and shoots it dead. Surprised that Rafe is still alive, Rafe explains to them that the gator, thinking he was dead, saved him as a meal for later, and he escaped. They are walking to the exit when the sheriff tells Rafe and Cody to move along, that she is right behind them. She goes back to finish off the gators. Rafe finds the key to the jet ski and tells Cody that they should not only leave Sheriff Newman but also kill her. Cody refuses and grabs the keys from Rafe, leading to a confrontation. Meanwhile, the sheriff, trying to finish off the alligators, accidentally shoots a nearby tank, causing an explosion in the sheriff's department. Rafe almost drowns Cody, but the explosion blasts and kills him. Cody, being underwater at that time, is not affected by the blast. In the morning, the storm has passed, and we see Sheriff Newman and Cody on the jet ski. Cody asks the sheriff if he is still going to be arrested. The sheriff replies that according to her report, all the prisoners did not make it out alive. They both smile and drive away. And that's how the movie ends. Please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for our latest videos on Switch Recaps.